Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, year 2, week 25, ending October 4th, 2019. This isn't an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I've bought, nor an endorsement to purchase stocks in general. I'm on a mission to become a great growth stock investor. Watch me on my journey, learn from my mistakes, and celebrate my successes. I look at the general market conditions to determine when to buy stocks. And then I look at individual stock charts to determine when to buy a specific stock. According to the IBD at investors.com, the market is in an uptrend under pressure, so investors should be cautious when buying stocks at this point. I also review the general market charts, the S&P 500, the Russell 2000, and the VIX. This is the S&P 500 one-year chart. Over on the right-hand side, you can see that black dot is at the 50-day simple moving average. That's where this index closed the week at. It had dropped down to below the 150, but not quite to the 200-day. It closed the week at 29.52. This is the Russell 2000 index, the one-year chart, and this one is showing a different story. It is below its 200-day simple moving average. It did start to come up at the end of the week on Thursday and Friday. It had nice days, both those days, but it did close the week right around 1500. This index I'd like to see above the 1600 mark, but it is a positive sign that it did have 2 strong days in a row. And this is the VIX, or the volatility index. The lower the better on this one. It did close the week at 1704, and I like to see this below 16, ideally closer to 12. I did make one purchase this week, a stock called Cool, and I sold 2 stocks. I'm going to review the stocks that I sold. Copart, CPRT. I held this stock for 8 days and I lost just about 6%. I bought it on September 23rd, where the intersection of that green line is and that orange box. And then I sold it on October 2nd, where that black dot is, when it dropped below that dash yellow line, which was my floor at the time. I think that I'm not giving my new stocks enough room, because if I would have just kept my floor at the 8% and not moved it up to the 50-day simple moving average, I would still own this stock and I would be better off than where I sold it at. I still would have a loss in this stock, but not as much as I sold it for. And the same story with this one, Tetra Tech, symbol TTEK. Again, I sold it right at the 50-day simple moving average, and it has bounced back. Again, not to where I purchased it, but a lot closer than where I sold it at. This stock I held for just about 3 weeks, and I had a 3.5% loss on it. Now I'm going to review my current holdings. This is the current holdings bar chart. You can see that I have 2 stocks. CDW has 3 bars. That means I've held it for 3 weeks. And Cool has 1 bar. That means I just have held it the 1 week. The dashed black line is the $10,000 mark, and I buy as close to $10,000 as I can of a stock without going over. And then the yellow line at 9,200, that's my 8% floor. This chart shows that CDW is right at the point where I purchased it, and Cool, I have a small gain in it, at least $92. The stock with symbol Cool, KOOL, is a new purchase for me this week. I bought it on Monday, September 30th for $6.45. This is from my Tandem Light screen that has low price stocks. It looks at stocks under $15. I like that the stock had broken out from the $3 range and gone out to the $6 range in the past month. And then it had a big gap up and was sort of going sideways for a few days, and then I bought it and it's continuing to go sideways. Stocks that have this low price area can have some big fluctuations in prices. I didn't want to get stopped out, so I picked a point with that dotted yellow line that's actually below my 8% normal floor that I put, and this one is just under 11%. I'm willing to take a chance on this stock and give it a little bit more room to fluctuate, but I could take an $1,100 loss in this if it does trigger that floor. My other holding is CDW. This stock I've held for 2.5 weeks and it's even right at where I purchased it. I didn't raise my floor on either of these stocks this week because I thought I was being too aggressive there, so I left it at last week's floor. And this is my industry breakdown. I know this isn't a very interesting chart since I only have 2 stocks. The intention is that if I have 10 stocks, that it will show me if I'm getting overweighted in one area or another. I look at the current gains based on the dollar value gain in the stock and then the weekly change, either since purchase if I just held it the 1 week or for a full week if I held the stock for more than a week. I sort these with the losers on the top. So the current dollar gain, you can see CDW, I have 0. Better than last week where I was down $49. And Cool, I have a profit of $93. And then the percentage change, also I sort those with the losers on the top or the lowest value. CDW is up 0.5% this week. It's not a loser, but it is a lower percentage than Cool, which is up 0.9%. My benchmark shows I lost about $500 since last week. In year 2, week 25, I'm up 30.7% versus the S&P 500, which is up 11.1%. And then I like to look and see where my change in value is. So stocks that I held last week and sold this week, I lost $637. Gain from new purchases was $93, and then a gain from my existing holdings since last week was $50. If I wouldn't have sold those 2 stocks that didn't reach their 8% floor but did reach their 50-day simple moving average, then I would have been just about even from last week. Someone asked what that gray bar means. So when I first started this year 1, I wanted to double my money in a year. So I wanted to get up to 200,000. But then when I saw that wasn't going to happen, I set a goal of reaching that $40,000 or $50,000 gain in a year, which I didn't meet, but I did reach that several weeks back. Now I'm back underneath that, and hopefully by the end of this year, I'll be able to be either in that gray zone or above it. At the end of week 25, year 2, I have $110,681 in cash. Again, I can sit tight. I can buy new stocks. I don't want to do the B2 and B3s because I had lots of losses from that in September and August. I'm trying to be disciplined about creating a watch list each week. So I made these steps last week and I followed them again this week. Basically, I create an empty watch list and then I review last week's watch list and the IBD 50 list, the big cap list, a few others, and see if I want to add them to this week's watch list. On my new watch list, I can see the flagged items, which means they were also on last week's watch list. And then I unflag last week's and flag this week. So if they break out or they get near a pivot, I can see them easily when reviewing MarketSmith. So my watch list this week has 28 items on it, and 8 of them are carryovers from last week. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want an alert when I post a new episode.